Why do we chase the very people who make us feel invisible? It's a strange kind of ache, isn't it? You meet someone, and suddenly, it feels like life. Like the missing piece you've been searching for. But just as quickly they slip away. Cold texts. Inconsistent affection. The sinking feeling of waiting for someone who only shows up halfway. And somehow, you chase harder. Not because you're broken. Not because you're weak. But because your heart is trying to finish an old story that never ended the way it needed to. When we were young, love taught us things without words. If you grew up chasing the attention of someone distracted, unavailable, or unpredictable, your nervous system learned that this is what love feels like. A little close. A little far. A little hope. A lot of longing. Familiar pain is still familiar. And the mind, it clings to what's familiar, even when it hurts. Because somewhere deep inside it whispers, maybe this time, it will be different. But what if the pain you keep finding isn't random? What if it's the same wound wearing a different face? There's something about intermittent love that comes and goes, that hijacks the brain. Neuroscientists call it a dopamine loop, the same brain chemistry that drives gambling addictions. One kind word, one perfect day, one moment where it feels like maybe, just maybe, you finally have them. Your brain lights up. Hope floods your chest. And without even realizing it, you get hooked, not to the person, but to the chase itself. And the scariest part? Your mind starts to call it love. But love isn't supposed to feel like hunger. You're not just chasing a person. You're chasing a feeling you never fully had. The feeling of being fully seen. Fully chosen. Fully safe. You're trying to touch something ancient. The little self inside you that once cried out, "Stay with me. See me. Choose me." But healing doesn't happen by winning their attention. It happens when you realize you were already worthy of it all along. Psychologists call it repetition compulsion. We don't just randomly fall into bad patterns. We recreate the original wound, hoping this time we can heal it by finally winning. If I can just get them to stay. If I can just be enough this time. But the more you chase the wrong person, the more you lose touch with the right parts of yourself. The cycle keeps spinning, and all you're left holding is the ache. But here's the twist. You were never supposed to win that game. You were meant to outgrow it. The real breakthrough doesn't feel like fireworks. It feels like quiet clarity, a slow realization that you don't have to keep living inside old pain. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to audition for someone's love. You don't have to chase what keeps running. The love you seek isn't out there. It's waiting inside. And it has been all along. Healing doesn't mean shutting people out. It doesn't mean becoming cold or hard. It means learning to reparent yourself, to give yourself the affection, safety, and loyalty you once begged from others. It means whispering to the parts of you that were never held properly. You are enough. You are lovable. You are already home. Because sometimes, the people who couldn't love you simply didn't know how to love themselves. It was never your brokenness. It was their limitation. And you? You were never too much. They were simply too little. Maybe, just maybe, the person you've been chasing all this time was never them. It was the version of yourself who believed they had to be abandoned to be loved. And if you listen closely, you'll hear her or him still calling. Not from out there. Not from some unreachable future. But from within you. Waiting to be seen. Waiting to be chosen. Waiting to be loved by you. What would happen if you stopped running toward them and finally turned inward? You might just find everything you've been looking for. You see, the human heart is loyal, even when it's loyal to pain. Because somewhere along the way, we learned that love was a performance, a negotiation, the test we had to pass. Smile enough, shrink enough, stay quiet enough, be perfect enough. And maybe, just maybe, they'd stay. But love, real love, was never meant to be earned. It was meant to be received. There's this story I heard once. A little girl holding a cracked cup, walking from person to person, begging them to fill it. But every time someone poured even a little love inside, it leaked straight out. No matter how much they gave her, it was never enough. Because it wasn't the people that were broken. It was the cup. She didn't need to chase more people. She needed to heal the cracks. Sometimes, the love you're chasing is just the echo of an old hunger. Not because you're foolish. Not because you're naive. But because deep down, there's a part of you still believing, if I can just make this one stay, maybe I'll finally be safe. But healing, real healing, doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from asking better questions. Not, how can I make them love me? But, why am I drawn to people who cannot? And that's where everything starts to change. You might wonder, if I stop chasing, who will be there? The answer might scare you at first. Because when you stop running after them, all you're left with is yourself. The empty rooms inside you. The old loneliness. The ache you thought only someone else could fix. But here's the secret. That space isn't your enemy. It's your birthplace. It's where your real life, your real love, and your real healing finally begin. Have you ever noticed? The people who finally find peace in love aren't the ones who chase harder. They're the ones who heal deeper. They stop needing love to feel alive, and instead bring their aliveness to love. They know the difference between connection and chaos, between chemistry and history, between passion and pain. They no longer confuse adrenaline with affection. And that changes everything. When you start to heal, you lose interest in games. You lose interest in people who make you guess how they feel. You lose interest in chasing someone's approval like a prize. You begin to crave something slower, softer, truer. Someone who meets you at the door and says, I see you, I choose you, and I'm not going anywhere. No fireworks needed, no battles fought. Just a steady flame that doesn't ask you to prove yourself first. But here's the hardest part. Before you find someone who chooses you, you have to choose yourself. In all your messy, beautiful, unfinished humanness. You have to sit with the parts of you that feel unlovable. Hold them gently. Speak to them softly. You don't have to earn this. You don't have to beg for this. You were worthy the whole time. Healing is not glamorous. It's not a viral moment. It's not a cinematic montage. It's small, quiet choices made in dark rooms. It's deleting their number even though your fingers are trembling. It's choosing not to text when you're lonely at midnight. It's whispering to your old wounds. We're not doing this anymore. We deserve better now. Every time you honor yourself, even a little, the cracks in your heart start to close. Drop by drop. Day by day. Until one day, you realize you no longer crave the things that once broke you. You are full. You are whole. Without needing to chase anything at all. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to stay. Stay with your loneliness. Stay with your cravings. Stay with your heart. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's honest. Pain isn't the enemy. Running from it is. Because every time you stay, you're teaching your nervous system, I'm not abandoning you anymore. And slowly, the parts of you that once screamed for attention begin to trust you again. You become your own safe place. Your own steady home. There's a Japanese philosophy called kintsugi. When a bowl breaks, they don't throw it away. They repair it, carefully, lovingly, with gold. They don't hide the cracks. They honor them. They believe the bowl is more beautiful because it was broken. Maybe healing isn't about pretending you were never hurt. Maybe it's about becoming art. Because you were. So if you find yourself chasing love that hurts, first, ask yourself, what am I really seeking? What part of me still feels unworthy? What story am I still trying to rewrite? Because chasing won't heal you. Only choosing will. Choosing yourself. Choosing your wholeness. Choosing your peace, even when it's lonely at first. I won't lie to you. The beginning is brutal. Choosing yourself feels like losing everything. But keep going. Because on the other side of that empty space is a love so steady, so profound, so honest. It won't just fill you. It will free you. Maybe the person you're really searching for isn't them. Maybe it's the version of you who finally knows you are enough. Without the chase. Without the war. Without needing to prove anything at all. You are already enough. And that's the love that never leaves.